Next on Worcester News Tonight, drought emergency, what Worcester is planning to do with water levels at historic lows. Plus, remembering 9/11, days before the somber anniversary, Worcester students perform a day of service. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. Drought conditions are not improving much in central Massachusetts after Hermine failed to give the area some much needed rain. Now here in Worcester, the city administration may be taking steps toward purchasing water if conditions don't improve. Worcester could move to a stage 3 drought warning this week. The city manager is expected to address the issue with the Department of Public Works. The city has already mandatory water restrictions in place about when residents can water their lawn. The city also hasn't ruled out purchasing water from the Quabbin Reservoir.
More restrictive set of rules and probably have to purchase water from the Quabbin in order to maintain our levels.
The city is planning to update the public on drought conditions on Thursday. The state is asking a Worcester social service agency to pay up after an audit finds several issues, including Mass Health inappropriate payments to the organization. State Auditor Suzanne Bump released the audit today. It claims Centro Las Americas, Inc. improperly used more than $57,000 in state funds for trips to Puerto Rico, golf outings, meals, and gifts. The audit also states Centro didn't use a competitive procurement process when purchasing its CEO's car. The audit recommends Centro repay more than $57,000. When contacted by Worcester News Tonight, the company's Director of Operations and Compliance says they're aware of the audit report but has no further comment at this time. The state's Department of Transportation preparing drivers for a new tolling system with several public meetings this month, the first taking place tonight in Worcester. State officials looking to get input from drivers before the new system goes into effect next month. On October 28th, all roadways will switch over to a fully electronic system, which will scan a driver's E-ZPass using an overhead camera. The device will also scan the license plate on the car if the driver doesn't have an E-ZPass. Transportation officials say the new system will improve road conditions for drivers.
The money that we get on these roadways, whether it's the Western Turnpike or the MHS, stays on that road. And you hate to see that lost in the conversation. So as we're talking about gantry rates, but it also means maintaining a level of funding that's going to continue to allow us to provide a safe environment for all users of our roadway system.
E-ZPasses are free of charge, and drivers are encouraged to pick one up before October 28th. A water main break in Westborough earlier today causing traffic delays. It happened around 12:30 on the corner of Fairview Road and Milk Street. Crews were on scene working to repair the break. They say it's unclear what caused it, but was most likely an act of nature. Milk Street traffic was down to one lane for several hours today. Also in Worcester, one man is recovering and another is in custody for a stabbing on Main Street. Took place Sunday night not too far from Kirsch Liquor Store. According to police, found a 44-year-old man with a stab wound to the upper arm. Officers stopped a group of men nearby and identified Jose Medina as the suspect. He's being charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. One middle school in Worcester giving back today as part of a lesson on the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The day of service coming before the country prepares to observe a somber anniversary next week. Our Brittany Schaefer reports.
Love conquers evil.
Worcester Academy middle schoolers spent the day helping several charitable organizations across the city. Their day of service comes just days before the 15th anniversary of 9/11, and it isn't a coincidence.
It has become a pattern of behavior in many different schools that we seek to give back to our communities during 9/11.
The 6th through 8th graders are learning about 9/11 through service. None of them were born when the nation experienced its worst terrorist attack. The kids still worked with places like the Ecotarium, the Friendly House, and Be Like Brit to help the organizations with work.
At Be Like Brit, we're processing items and T-shirts, and we're fixing together these packages for this run coming up.
We've been weeding and getting our hands dirty, raking and, picking up a bunch of the trash and, just cleaning up the friendly house.
The charitable organizations were on the receiving side Tuesday and say they couldn't have finished all the work themselves.
It's just amazing to see, one, how hardworking they are and dedicated they are to the community and helping out. And, they came over and did a project in 2 hours that would have taken us all week.
I was just in there talking to some of the kids, and this little boy, Jack, said to me, "I want to be like Britt." And I actually got super emotional because it's just so wonderful to hear kids wanting to help and wanting to be a part of their community.
The students say it was fun helping their community, providing important service to organizations who help those in need.
For people who got injured and for people who died, it feels great to give back to them because they've done so much for our community.
They provide a lot to the community, so we want to provide to them.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
This Sunday marks the 15-year anniversary of the terror attacks in New York and Washington, D.C. on September 11th, 2001. Well, the end of the summer bringing a new season and the beginning of flu season. Doctors recommending the flu vaccine for kids more than 6 months old. However, a lot of doctors will not be offering the nasal spray vaccine this year. Several studies show it does not protect against multiple strains of the virus. Doctors are encouraged to begin offering the shot no later than October. An intense competition taking place at WPI this weekend that was just out of this world. NASA looking for a robot who can perform tasks without direct human contact. A competition with more than $1 million at stake. Our Rosalind Flaherty caught up with the winners.
It's going to make it possible one day for robots like these to assist humans as they study Mars from the planet's surface.
After 5 years of competition by more than 40 different teams from around the globe, NASA's Sample Return Robot Challenge has a winner.
It was a very stressful competition.
The West Virginia University Mountaineers won the challenge in $750,000, which they say will be used to fund future research.
The robot platform is actually going to stand out for other competitions that we'll compete in.
3 years ago, the Mountaineers barely qualified for the competition. Today, they are on top. The Mountaineers were one sample away from receiving the full prize of $1.36 million.
One of the most stressful things I've experienced in the last 18 years of my life. It's nice to know that stuff that I have helped create will actually impact the future of space travel.
Over the past weekend, the top 7 teams competed for the $1.36 million prize purse at WPI.
You can't go out and help the rover, grab the rock. It's really got to do it on its own.
NASA says the goal of this challenge is to help build technology to advance the collection of samples on Mars.
It's a demonstration for what we one day will be doing when we go to Mars.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
After more than 10 years on the job, Quinsigamond Community College President Dr. Gail Carberry announces she is retiring. Dr. Carberry plans to retire at the end of the 2016-2017 academic school year. Throughout her tenure, Carberry has worked to integrate the college more deeply with others in the community. She is credited with helping to increase enrollment by close to 40% and increasing graduation rates by 85% in the past 10 years. Dr. Carberry says after more than 40 years in Massachusetts education, she is ready to experience something new.
Everybody who has worked with us, we've had strong partnerships. We've done great work together. I think that this is a city that's on the rise, and I think Quinsigamond's been a prime part of it. And again, I do hope that the new president recognizes and appreciates what a wonderful city, what a wonderful community Worcester County is.
When asked what her future plans are, Dr. Carberry says she wants to do more writing, maybe even adopt a